This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Good evening. Thank you for joining the To Hull and Back podcast for another opposition preview. And today we're going to be talking all things Wigan Athletic from Barry from the podcast. I can't remember what it's called. What's it called?
It's called the Progress with Unity podcast.
I see. I was going to call it Proceed with Unity, but that doesn't sound as good.
No.
So I'll do my usual ramble. We are proudly sponsored by 6 Yards Out and Pearson's Bar in Hull. We have a new merch store, which is called It's a Funny Old Game. That's the website. They've kindly started to work with us. So if you want a To Hull and Back themed mug or a chopping board, you want to attack the chopping board and our logo with a knife, then you can. And also, thank you very much to everyone who's voted for us as the best EFL podcast at this year's Football Content Awards. We're all very excited about going to the big evening in Manchester in, I think, November, maybe the 17th. So thank you very much for everyone who's voted in that. And I think there are still a few more days for you to vote for us in that prestigious competition. So, but let's move on to all things Wigan Athletic. So, Barry, you've come on. How are you doing, and how is it to be a Wigan Athletic fan at the moment?
Personally, I'm doing very well, thank you. I've been a Wigan Athletic supporter since all my life. My first game was 1971. Many ups and downs along the road. We're very much on the up at the moment. Came into this season not anticipating anything, hoping for a bit of mid-table mediocrity, and lo and behold, we're currently ninth, and with a game in hand, which could see us go fourth. Yeah, things are pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, and you're, as a newly promoted League One team into the Championship, you're in the position we were last season. And I've asked this to every fan that's come on, and sometimes it's a bit funny when the team's been relegated, and this is equally a stupid question for the team that's been promoted, but you won the league last season, right? Was that a good season for Wigan?
Well, I'll be honest with you, that is a bit of an understatement, because we came out of administration the season before. If you recall, we was placed into administration by some really dodgy goings on. And whilst in administration, we actually beat you 8-0. I'm sure you remember.
I don't remember. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
must have missed that one.
Yeah, we had a really good back end to the season, but still got relegated because of the points deduction.
Yeah, and it's very unjust, wasn't it?
Well, it still feels very unjust, yeah. But these things happen in football, and you have to dust yourself down and get on with it. But the following season, we was really struggling. Nobody wanted to buy us. We had quite a bit of problems with the administrators. The team was basically made up of 2 or 3 journeymen and the youth team from the season before. Lo and behold, we managed to stay up. Liam Richardson did an absolutely unbelievable job, led from the front. We stayed up. That summer, we had 3 players contracted. So that's last summer, not this summer. Going into a new season, we'd just come out of administration. We needed to recruit, get people bedded in, ready for the season. So I think most Latics fans would have expected us to finish mid-table, brand new team. But it was quite clear after about 3 games we was going to be up at the top, and we was in the top 3 for the whole season actually, and we won the league. And it was just the greatest achievement that we've had is winning the FA Cup. The second greatest achievement was not getting relegated when we was in administration, and I think that winning the league last season is possibly up there with those sorts of achievements. So. Fantastic to come into the new season bursting with confidence, and Yeah, we've had a slow summer of recruitment. We've not really changed our starting 11 that much. We've got one of your former players up front for us, and Josh McGuinness, we got off you last season. And also we have Will Keane, who spent a bit of time with you as well.
They're both going to school on Wednesday, aren't they?
I hope so. I'm not going to disagree with you there. I hope they are, yes. Yeah, but you've got Callum Elder in your side who played with us for a season.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
it's good to get an expert on. So, I usually ask about your opinions on the manager. Of course, he got promoted last season, but then we got promoted with Grant McCann, and then we didn't think he was good enough for the Championship. So, and I think Liam Richardson's achievements may be going under the radar because I forgot what his name was and had to Google who he was. So, do you think he's the right man to keep Wigan up?
Liam Richardson, I hope, has a job for life at Wigan Athletic. I really do. I mentioned about administration before. He led from the front. When everybody was leaving, Paul Coote resigned. All the coaching staff went. Anthony Barry went off to Chelsea. All the coaching staff left. He stayed. He did everything, cleaned the kit, locked the doors after everybody had gone home, led from the front, never complained once. The only time you saw him down was when you came to the DW Stadium and beat us 5-0. And that was that's the only time.
I remember that one.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you do. But that's the only time I've ever seen any sort of negative reaction from him. And that's, so he recruited backroom staff really well. We've got Rob Kelly, who's managed in the Premier League with Leicester City, coached in the Premier League, and we've got James Beattie as the two assistant managers. James Beattie, former England international striker, Southampton, Blackburn. And they're a fabulous team. I mean, I think our away record speaks volumes for how good of coaches and tacticians they are. We've won the last 4 games of the trot, unbeaten away from home this season. Is he the man to take us up? Well, I hope so. I hope he is with us for the rest of his career. We've even named one of the stands at the ground after him. Now, for a manager who's still incumbent at your club, to name a stand after him. Yeah. I mean, some of that went down to his actions when Charlie White had his cardiac arrest during training. He was the first person to respond and started CPR on him, So, but that's Liam Richardson. That's what he's like. He's revered amongst Wigan Athletic supporters.
Well, that sounds amazing, and I just wish Hull City fans had a manager to talk about in the same way, but we don't even have one at the moment, so we can't. So that was interesting because I said, is he the right man to keep Wigan up? And you said you want him to get promoted. So what exactly are the ambitions for Wigan this season?
Well, the chairman, who's the guys who bought us, the Bahraini consortium, Talal Al Hamad, I think he's a bit like your owner, who really connected well with the supporters. He's mad as an atter. He loves the town as well as the club. So he's a bit like that. And he stated he wants us to challenge for the playoffs, which at the start of the season, I thought lower mid-table would be brilliant. 16th. And to be honest with you, I'd have taken us one place above relegation. You just want to, your first season, you just want to consolidate. Excuse me. But the chairman has said that he wants us to push for the playoffs. If we can get our own form sorted and carry on with our away form, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. Although this is, I mean, to quote all the managers, it is an unforgiving league. It's a very tough league. It's the one of the toughest leagues in the world. Never mind in the EFL. So I think it's a big ask for us to make the playoffs. We've had a brilliant start, but I'd still at this moment take 16th every day of the week. Yeah,
I think. I mean, I would have taken 16th last season, but with the amount of money we've spent, I don't think we're happy with 16th. Although, of course, we're not even there at the moment. We're about 20th. So let's touch on some of the signings you've made, even though there haven't been many. Are there any that stick out to you?
We signed Ryan Niambe. He was our first signing to come in former Blackburn Rovers player, right back, highly regarded. He's come in and replaced our club skipper, who Tendai Zariqua, who is a right back. So at the moment, they're sort of vying for that right back position. Niambi's got it at the moment. He's looking really good. We brought in Nathan Broadhead from Everton on loan. He was at Sunderland last season, scored 10 goals in 20 appearances for him. Most of those was off the bench as well. He's already scored for us this season. He had his first start on Saturday at Rotherham. He's looking quite good. We've signed Anthony Scully from Lincoln City. More of a prospect, I think. I've really rate Anthony Scully. We've played Lincoln 4 times in the last 2 seasons, and each time he's been an absolute massive threat. He looks like a really good player. I think that's it. I think that.
What about
we've got a couple on loan. We've got Ashley Fletcher, who was great at Middlesbrough. He's lost his way a little bit at Watford. We've got him for the season on loan, but he's had a cameo appearance off the bench. That's all he's had this season so far.
Yeah, Ashley Fletcher sort of seems it's kind of strange he's not been at City, because we've almost signed him almost every deadline day for the last 3 or 4 years, perhaps. So it's seeing him along with McGuinness and Keane. You could play almost a front three of, well, at least 2 players that did play for City, and one that feels like he has, even though he hasn't, because we've been linked with him so often. So and then this other one, Edmonds Green, centre half, was he on loan as well? What do you know about him?
Well, he was at Rotherham last season on loan, and they tried to get him back on loan this season. He's played 3 games for Huddersfield. That's where we got him from, and then he's come to us. So it seems a little bit of a strange decision by Huddersfield to let a centre half go out on loan to a fellow Championship club, and possibly one they might have considered to be, fighting relegation with. So it seems a little bit strange, but he's not played yet. So I don't know if he's injured. He weren't on the bench on Saturday. I don't know if he's got a knock or anything. I don't know anything about it. I remember him playing for us, for Rotherham last season against us, and he looked okay. That's all I know about him.
Do you think those transfers are good enough for Championship level? Because you said they hadn't really improved the starting 11. That's the issue we had last summer.
Yes, I do. Ryan Niambi is a solid Championship player. But when you look at our squad, when we've got James McLean in the Premier League and Championship throughout all his career, we've got Graham Shinney, who Championship player with Derby County. Will Keane played in the Championship for numerous clubs, including yourselves.
Very poorly, though. Yeah,
but I think up until 18 months ago, Will Keane was carrying injuries. He's had an injury-free 18-month boy as he shone. He joined us during administration because nobody wanted him, and he came in, and you could tell he was injured, and it took him 6 months to get fit. But from that time, he was our top scorer in both seasons he's been with us. So you can't ask for more than that. He's got 4 goals already this season, so he's up and running. I thought that there is. Yeah, there is. I mean, we've got a squad with some excellent players, and we've got a young. There you go. Will Keane has been reborn at Wigan. Yes, and I agree he has. We've got Jack Watmore, centre half, former Portsmouth player of the season last year. We got him on a free transfer. How we got him on a free transfer, I have no idea. Absolute quality. He is superb. Tom Naylor, again, sits in front of the back 4. Quality midfielder. Curtis Tilt. He's not a quality player, but my goodness, he's a quality defender, if you know what I mean. He defends with his life. He defends with his life. When he gets the ball, sometimes he tends to think he's a Franz Beckenbauer type and wants to play it out when you just scream at him, Tilty, get it up the pitch. But, it takes something to get past him. He's absolutely superb.
So it does seem like you've got more kind of solid, maybe experienced and tougher players than perhaps we've brought in. So do you think we're going to have that great unity, especially after that title-winning season?
I think that's our biggest strength, to be honest, the unity. You talk to any of the players, we've had the players on the podcast, and they all say exactly the same thing. we're not just teammates, we're mates. They have sleepovers at each other's houses. They have FIFA nights. They all went on holiday together. They go out together. And you can tell they fight for each other. Look at the number of late goals we scored this season where, they carry each other forward. Nobody sulks when they're left out the team. There's no big egos in there. Everybody is looked upon the same. We've only had one ego, and we shipped him out. I'll not mention names, but he's playing up in Scotland at the moment. His name's just to clarify that it is Jones, Jordan Jones. He was the ego, so we got rid of him. There's no egos at all in this squad. I had to say that then because we've got 2 players at the moment playing up it. We've got 3 players in Scotland at the moment, and I didn't want people to think I was talking about somebody else, but we all know who he is anyway. So yeah, they've got that unity there, that strength, and like I say, it just carries us through. We've late goals. We scored late yesterday. We scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes at Luton to win the game. We scored in the last 10 minutes at Birmingham to win the game. We scored in the last 10 minutes to beat Huddersfield. So we just keep going and going and going. What we need to do is find that form at home as well. Then we'll be we'll cause some damage.
Why have you struggled at home so far, do you think, compared to away games?
I think that is the £1 million question.
Yeah. If you knew that you'd be sitting, with the coaching staff, would you?
Yeah. I think one of the things we don't change our style. We play away as we play at home. We play with four defenders. Sometimes we'll go 3 at the back, but it's usually 4 at the back, 2 sitting midfielders, and then 3 with 1 striker up front, and any one of them 3 supporting that striker. And we play the same at home. And I think it works better away, possibly, because you're inviting teams to come onto you so you can press them, get the ball off them, and then attack. And obviously, when you're playing at home, other teams come with that mindset, don't they, where they want to sit back and counter-attack you. So I think that's it. I mean, we've been very unlucky not to have won. We could have beat Preston 2-0. Bristol City, we should have beat them. Burnley, we shouldn't have beat them. They beat us 5 past us, but that was like a bit of an anomaly, that one. And Reading beat us 1-0, and to be honest, Reading were awful. It was absolutely awful, and we should have won that game. So I don't know. It just last season our away form got us the title. It did. We were fantastic away from home, and this season we just carried on. So yeah, I don't know really. I wish I did.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to Wednesday night because it was the same with Stoke and Luton. We lost both of those games where the fans that have come on have said that they like to sit deep, invite the pressure and counter-attack. And I think we've had more possession the last 2 games and we've lost. So it sounds like it could be a third one of those sort of games. How do you see it going on Wednesday night?
Well, to be honest with you, it's got all the potential of being a banana skin for us because you're struggling, you're at the bottom, you're not scoring goals, you're no manager, we're on fire away from home. It's there for us to just turn up and take the 3 points, but football's not like that. And sometimes you get these kicks, and it might be just the game that will City need to, revitalise the season for them to show, for your players to show the fighting spirit. And if there is any fight in them, I don't know. I mean, I've not seen all play this season, so I can't really say.
You're lucky.
Thank you for that. So how do I see it going? I mean, we played Rotherham yesterday, and I was quite surprised with it because we took the game a little bit to Rotherham in the opening stages, and we went to goal up, and then Rotherham was chasing the tails, trying to get back at us. And they're a similar position to you, where they've just lost the boss as well, and it was like lack of direction coming on the field, and they didn't seem to know what to do really. I'd love to say that we're going to beat you 2-0. That's what my heart is saying, but I'm so cautious about these types of games that if you go in thinking you're going to steamroll somebody, you really do come unstuck. So, and I don't think we're going to steamroll because you've got quality players in there, and the big lad up front, Oscar, he's frightens the life out of me, to think we're coming up against him. But I mean, realistically, I'd go 0-0, but I would go for a 2-0 Latics win if pushed.
Yeah, I don't see it being 0-0 because we can't keep a clean sheet to save our lives, and we can't score either. So, I mean, a bit early for predictions. I've got a few more questions, but
Yeah.
again, I'll probably be about saying in about 10 minutes we're going to lose 2-0 again. My brain and my heart are both saying I don't really see how it's going to change. But we've mentioned a little bit about one former Hull City striker, Will Keane. Um, what's Josh McGuinness done since going to Wigan? Because part of me thinks he's probably a bit annoyed to be in the Championship again because he's great in League One, and then when you go up to the second division, he's just he doesn't cut the mustard.
All right then. Well, I'll see if I can change your mind. He came in and we didn't know how to play to him because he was a different type of player than when Charlie White was out from early November. We were playing with Will Keane or Callum Wang at the front, who are not physical players. So it was obvious he was trying to bring in a physical type. So, but there was a lot of football play between the time Charlie White went down and we brought in Josh McGuinness. So we changed our game slightly. It took him a little while to settle in, and it took us a little while to work out how to get the best out of him. He scored a superb header away at Crewe, and that sort of turned the season for him. And he was really good. Now, this season, there was quite a few people like yourself doubting the fact that he could make the step up. But I'll be honest with you, he's been absolutely superb.
I don't believe you.
Well, he didn't play yesterday. So I think he didn't play yesterday because he was away on international duty last week, and he's a little bit tired because he's going on a bit now. So I'd say he's guaranteed to start at Hull.
Oh dear.
He's led the line superbly. He wins every header that we put to him. His flick-ons have been brilliant. He works his socks off. He does an hour and then we take him off. That's how it works. So he gives everything for an hour and then he goes off. But everybody's been really impressed with him. I think he's had man of the match on a couple of occasions this season as well. He's brilliant. He's been brilliant for us.
That sounds like a completely different player. I mean, I agree he puts 100% Everton, and I think we could do with similar sort of players who had quality as well. But I would like to remind you, I think he's only got one goal. So that's more the sort of stats Hull City fans expect from him. I think it's just a one goal, but it will definitely be at least two after Wednesday.
Well, I'm hoping so. I mean, some of his headers he scored has been out of this. I don't know if you saw the Northern Ireland goal that he scored on.
I haven't watched that yet.
Well, take a look. It's a worldie, I'm telling you. He's the guy's gone down the right wing, knocked the ball into the centre, and it's been slightly behind him, so he's arched his back and then flicked his head round, and he's from the penalty spot, top corner. Superb. Right. Yeah. I
mean, he usually scored after the international break for us, so if he's not scored already, coming back on Saturday, was it you had your game? Yeah, that's another reason why he's probably going to score on Wednesday. So yeah, that's interesting to hear that he's actually been good in the Championship. So it surely can't last. I don't believe it. So yeah, 3 away wins in a row. Or was it 4 away wins?
Four.
That's pretty good. So yeah, really, as you said, all of the pointers are pointing towards a Wigan away win. But if we did get a manager in before Wednesday, that would inspire our players and give us the new manager bounce. But I don't really see it happening. Not really sure what else there is to talk about, except do you want to give us your lineup prediction for Wigan?
Yeah, if I look at Saturday, I think there'll be at least two changes from our game on Saturday against Rotherham. The goalkeeper's going to stay the same. Ben Amos is our number one. Watmore and Tilt centre backs. James McLean left back and Ryan Ambe right back. We've actually got Danny Rose training with us at the moment.
As in the Spurs one?
Yes, Spurs in England. Yeah, he's out of contract. He's 32. He's from Doncaster. But he was at Rotherham yesterday as well with a kit on, with his tracksuit on, Wigan Athletic tracksuit. So who knows? He may be. I doubt it. But apparently his fitness levels are. I don't think he's had any pre-season at all. So his fitness levels are really down. So this is the team that I think we'll put out. Amos, Nyambe, Watmore, Tilton, McLean across the back four. Now, in midfield, Max Power will play captain the team. Now, Tom Naylor came in on Saturday and scored late on, and he had a really good game. But I have a feeling that Graham Shinney, because both Naylor and Power are right-footed, I have a feeling Graham Shinney will be brought in. He's a left-footer, and Naylor might drop down to the bench as a rotation because there's so many games coming up. So I can see that happening. So I'll go Power and Shinney in midfield. Across the three, Broadhead, Keane and Asgard played on Saturday. Now, Tello Asgard is only 19. He's an absolute beautiful player. He's come through our academy. Norwegian prince, scorer of spectacular goals, destined to play in the Premier League without any shadow of a doubt. But I'm not so sure if he might be rested as well. But I'll say no. I'll say Tello will play. And up front, Charlie White had his first start on Saturday, so I think he'll be left out, and Josh McGuinness will start. So you'll have Keelan McGuinness firing the guns.
I mean, we're terrible at set pieces as well, so that's two big strikers we're scared about. How have Wigan been on set pieces?
Quite good.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we scored class 3 goals from set pieces. We've got great delivery. James McLean and Max Power, cracking delivery from set pieces. We scored on Saturday from a corner. Swung it over to the back post. Jack Watmore headed it back across. Tom Naylor had done a run, lost his marker, banging the back of the net. Yeah, very good. So we've got some big lads as well. Curtis Tilt, 6'6". Josh McGuinness is quite tall, isn't he? Ryan Niamb is quite tall. Wilkeen's good in the air, very good in the air, Wilkeen. Yeah, he's a brilliant player, Wilkeen. I mean, I don't know how you didn't get the best out of him. Didn't you pay him something like 50 grand a week or some ridiculous?
Oh, I mean, I hope not. I mean, I'm one of the poor, unfortunate souls that has seen Wilkeen play up front by himself as a lone striker in the Premier League, and he was diabolical. But he was that season we bought 6 players in a transfer window where we needed about 15, and it was on deadline day, and we got him from Man United, and I mean that was just an absurd deal. But yeah, it was
that
struck by injuries. It was 16, 17 when we were in the Premier League last. Yeah. And I mean, maybe he would have been a decent player in the Championship if he could have stayed fit for us. But then when he left us, went to Ipswich and Wigan. I think it's great that it looked like he could have had a career when he was very young. Didn't really happen for him, so it's good to see him achieving well at the moment, but just hopefully not on Wednesday. But with all the things that you've said, I'll get your prediction first. Do you think it'll be 0-0?
No, I'm going to go for 2-0. I'm going to go Keane and
yeah,
that's quite funny.
Yeah, he wouldn't have earned. I don't think he deserved £5,000 the way he played for us. To be honest, I mean that's harsh, but yeah, if we did pay Wilkeen £50,000, then that's unbelievable. I hope.
I'm sure he was on a good screw with Hull City. I
mean, we signed him for the in the Premier League, so he could have been on decent wages. But
he's an international now. Republic of Ireland.
Republic of Ireland, right?
And his twin brother plays for England. I think he was born on the ferry going across the Irish Sea. Yeah,
a bit questionable, really. I wonder what's gone on there. So
2-0.
Well,
Keane beginning.
I was going to agree with you 2-0, but looking at it, I don't really see any particular reason why we're going to play any better without an actual manager. And if I think McGuinness and Keane might score, but if you're great at set pieces, maybe I'll go 3-0. I mean, I have no faith at all, really. So,
Nathaniel, don't be saying this because it's really doing. These when everything points to a win for Wigan Athletic, that's when we come unstuck and lose 5-0.
Yeah,
it really does. I don't like this.
I hope that's true, but I don't see it. And if I go in with no expectations whatsoever, I won't be disappointed. Unless, of course, it's another 8-0. I don't think we're quite that bad yet, though.
No. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
I was talking to Ant earlier on, who's one of your guys, and he's in love with your owner. He's painted this great picture of him, and is he as good as what Ant's making out to be? Is he Hull City through and through, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, he seems it. He seems it. I mean, he said all the right things. And of course, people can say all the right things, and in the background, things might not be going quite as well financially, or maybe it's all lies. But our old manager or old owners, basically told our fans to die. So I'd rather they said nice things than were just honest and were bad. So, yeah, I mean, of course, if he gets into the Premier League, unlikely this season now, or maybe next year or the next few years, then obviously he's done a good job. But I think one of the main things that shows he does actually care is he goes to every game, or at least every home game, even like the midweek ones. And our old owners, the Alams, were local and they didn't go to every game, whereas Ajun gets a flight all the way from Turkey or maybe even the Dominican Republic, where he's filming the latest episode of the Turkish version of Survivor on some island. So, you don't go to every game if you don't actually care. And he goes to the pubs before games, and it really does seem like he's got the best interests of the club at heart. And maybe it won't work. Maybe we'll have a poor season, but he's at least tried. He's put money into the club, and he seems to care. And I think we've been really lucky to get not only just a new owner, but I keep saying to everyone who asks, it's great to have a new owner, but to have him as the owner is even better. So, yeah, of course, we're only a few games into the season. He's only been around since January. Maybe it'll go wrong because initially the Alams were loved, but at the moment things seem to be pretty good.
Yeah, one thing I'd say, I've been through what we've been through, and the main thing for me because I'll go watching Wigan Athletic, whether they're in the Premier League or in the Conference North, if you know what I mean. It doesn't matter. But the fact that we've got stability off the field and that the club's secure. And we've got a great CEO, by the way, who lives in Hull and was at Hull City as your CEO, Mal Brannigan. And he's doing you don't know him, do you? No, I can tell now.
Not a clue.
On your face. He's a brilliant CEO. So we've got a really good team off the pitch as well. And that brings stability to the club. And then that gives you the foundation to build for success, doesn't it? So, I mean, if I was in your position at this moment, I wouldn't be worrying. I mean, it's going to come good, isn't it? It's going to come good. If you've got that stability off the pitch, then the future's bright anyway. So that's all that matters.
I mean, it's certainly a nice picture off the pitch. I don't know if it's stable financially. We've spent a lot of money, more money than other clubs, but they have mentioned in every single interview that they're looking at the financial fair play rules very closely. So I don't think you'd mention that all the time if you were actually just going to completely disregard them. At least in the first season, I think we're fine. So, yeah, we're very happy with the new owner, and very happy with Wigan. That we've gone through bad points as well with our owners, maybe less financially so, and more just the relationship between them and the fans. So it's always good to see Wigan, who'd gone into administration, actually around, unlike Bury, for example. So that's nice, I guess. One last comment from the boss. We're fine. Exactly. That's one thing financially that we should be fine. We had the second lowest wage budget in the season, so we should be fine on that regard.
Brilliant news.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming on. Where can Wigan and Hull fans find your content?
The best place to get us is on Twitter at PWU Podcast. Everything Wigan Athletic. Podcast out today. It's live now, and it features a great interview with Ant. And yeah, you can listen to his ramblings of very similar to yours about everything Hull City. It was an excellent interview, by the way. Yeah.
Marvellous. Right. Well, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. And we'll be back for another episode, probably on the Thursday, to talk about another very depressing defeat on the Wednesday.
Won't
Probably.
you be doing this now? I'm telling you, stop it.
If I keep saying it, maybe it'll be reversed psychology. That's what I'm going for anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you've had a good show.
I have, Nathaniel. Thank you very much, and I've enjoyed myself. Yeah.